You know the grammar rules, you've aced the written tests, but when a native speaker asks a simple question, your mind goes completely blank. This happens because most of us treat English like history or math, a subject to be memorized in silence. We spend years collecting facts about the language without ever training the brain to use them. Real fluency behaves less like an academic subject and more like a physical sport. It requires the same type of coordination and repetitive muscle memory as playing an instrument or riding a bike. The inability to speak doesn't stem from a lack of talent. It's the result of a mismatch between classroom theory and the way the human brain is wired to process speech. Unlocking the ability to talk means shifting away from studying and adopting habits that mimic how the brain naturally captures a new language. Many learners rely on binge studying. They'll spend 4 hours with a textbook on a Sunday, feel a rush of motivation, and then do nothing for the rest of the week. By the time they return to the books, the majority of that information has evaporated. This graph illustrates the difference. The jagged curve shows how binge sessions fail to stick. Just like physical training, the brain needs frequent, repeated exposure. Spending just 20 minutes a day on micro-habits creates permanent neurological changes, keeping momentum alive. In the biological process of language acquisition, the brain prioritizes frequency over how long you spend staring at a word. To fix the blank mind phenomenon, we must look at what happens during a live conversation. Most learners are trapped in a translation bottleneck. You hear an English phrase, translate it to understand it, formulate a reply, and translate it back. Then you hit the grammar perfection filter, scanning every tense for errors before speaking. This massive cognitive load forces your working memory to do 3 complex jobs at once, crashing the system. Bypass this by mapping concepts directly to sounds, associating physical feelings directly with the English phrase. This works best with simple vocabulary. Complex, academic words take significantly longer for the brain to retrieve from memory. While you hunt for a perfect adjective, the conversation's pace has already left you behind. Prioritizing clear, simple, and slightly imperfect communication allows you to keep up with the flow of real-world speech. A common mistake is the silent treatment. Learners spend years reading and passively listening without ever making a sound. This builds a massive passive vocabulary that you can recognize, but your brain hasn't learned how to activate it. Speaking is a physical, muscular task. Your tongue, lips, and vocal cords must be trained to move in unfamiliar ways to produce English phonetics accurately. Techniques like shadowing, repeating audio immediately as you hear it, bridge this gap. It forces your mouth to build necessary muscle memory so that sounds eventually feel natural. Because fluency is a motor skill, your mouth needs as much practice as your mind. Real fluency doesn't look like a flawless lecture. It's a messy, ongoing process of stumbles and self-corrections. Most of your progress happens quietly. It's an invisible process where your brain gradually adapts to constant, daily exposure until you suddenly realize you're thinking in English without trying. The biggest obstacle to this growth is the psychological fear of sounding strange or making a mistake in front of others. In reality, every verbal error provides the specific data your brain needs to adjust its internal model of the language. Each mistake is a necessary step toward calibration. You don't need a perfect vocabulary list or total mastery of tenses to start. You just need to begin using what you have right now. Commit to using your voice every single day. Let the compounding effect of consistent, imperfect practice build the fluency you've been chasing.